Okay, this is the part for justice versus charity. And I'll start off with saying that the Rancho Costa Humane Society, I believe, does a really good job at charity. They're not so much on the justice side because they don't feel like they're involved in making social change as much as just kind of meeting the needs at the moment. Lots of people donate food, old kennels, old cat furniture. A lot of people volunteer their time, which converts into money because of labor and hours. You always see the televised events late at night about donating your money to national organizations for homeless animals. All that is a form of charity, but unfortunately, I would imagine a good percentage of those people that are giving up money aren't really actually giving up lifestyles. They're not changing the way they live. That greatly affects the way the animals are being exploited. If I were the boss, I would start off by educating the children. They do have an education program there. I think just kind of helps build empathy for animals and kind of more of the whole companion animal versus pet. I think they do that. But I want to be more aggressive about it. I would want to start off educating the children about animal exploitation and how using animals for food and for product and turning animals into objects in the end hurts animals, isn't fair to them. And I decided I'd start off around 4th, 5th grade because that's when they're doing sex education. So I think at that point, something like animal exploitation, some of the a little bit harsh images that can be tied with that would be an appropriate time for the youth to start seeing that. Because I understand some obstacles probably would be with the community, especially the adults that aren't maybe as open-minded to ending animal exploitation because they've seen it so natural their whole lives. Might be a little resistant to their children seeing things like that. So that would be one of the things if I were a boss. I would have my staff protest at fast food locations. My staff and the community would all be invited to do protests. That's something the Rancho Costa Humane Society doesn't do. Once again, that would be, in my opinion, shifting the ideologies of the community and really realizing what it is that is bringing the animals to the shelter and the trickle-down effect. I would want to hire lawyers to kind of help lobby against government to maybe push for incentives for higher taxes on meat product or animal-based product. Although this isn't ending the exploitation of animals in a whole, but I would also want to put more incentives for meat companies to use better, more organic, more safer, humane practices for the animals that are still continued to be exploited, that ultimately do die, but at least give them more suitable lifestyles before they die. I know that is debatable in the big picture, but I think that would be still making change and changing the way people think about animals and speciesism and that sort of thing. I would also make a program for free food for the local community. Shore talks about 7 attributes, and she does incorporating the community and seeing what the needs of the community are, and not parachuting in ideas that you think that the community needs. I would see if the community would like supply and food programs because a lot of people are giving up their animals because they can't afford them. I would make there no paperwork necessary to get the supplies or food. I think that making that kind of paperwork implies that that whole how poor are you, how needy are you, and it kind of starts off the criminalization process by asking people those sort of things. It kind of sets up the mentality that we're watching you and we're wondering, are you going to cheat the system? We have to take notes on you, and if you're abusing this free food program, and I think from a community standpoint that will invest more trust in our clients and our community if we don't have those hoops to jump through and those kind of squinty eyes means tested. Are you really that poor? Do you really need this? So I would do community outreach for food programs and supplies, and I wouldn't have any processes to get them. I would just trust my clients, and hopefully the trust would be mutual. We would also do no screening for the type of dogs or cats that come into Humane Society. The whole idea of at risk for youth in society and families in society. Well, I think you could still attribute the idea of at risk to dogs and cats as well. Are these animals at risk for being poor applicants to be rehomed because of certain behavioral issues, or the fact that they're too big, or they shed too much, they bark? Those are all kind of deficit model things. And so I would just take in animals for the fact that they had no homes. Okay, let's start there, and then let's do what we need to do to help rehabilitate the animals and find homes for them, no matter what the case may be. The staff. I would start, with a mission statement that was more society structural shifted based. opposed to just kind of meeting the needs at the time with the whole finding new pets, homes, and educating the community for spay and neuter. I would try to shift the community's thought process on animal exploitation. So, quite frankly, my mission statement would be to end exploitation of animals, and that would be meaning abolishing animals for profit as a whole. My secondary would be to find homes for animals, and then to educate the community on proper spay and neutering. Staff would be educated on the ways animals are used for money and challenged to stop eating meat as well. So I would hope that my staff would be aboard as well, and when we'd be interviewing my staff to come on board with our project, I feel like that would be something that I would really want them to share, that kind of like-mindedness. That animals, any kind of animals being used for money, is against our mission statement, and we would politely not want them to be a part of our team. They would be all trained with SHORE's 7